start. Hello everyone, welcome to TOUCHSTARVED, a dating sim slash horror game, depending on our decisions, I guess. I've been recommended this game and also have been getting so many ads for it, and I need to know what's happening. This is only a demo because the full game's not out yet, but when the full game comes out, maybe we'll play it and it'll be fun. Okay, cool. Let's go. Content warning. Oh no. Okay. TOUCHSTARVED is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. Do you hear that? Don't sue me. Or this game. Okay. Her name is Toby. I'm so nervous. Choose your pronouns. She, her. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall, spectral mist, bled from the seams where reality wore a thin split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by by a little more than desire to slaughter. As cities fell, this is so loud. I'm sorry. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you, simping for the monsters. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Oh, fun! Okay, so here's the three options. I read through them. The Fallen Oracle is kind of just, you were raised in a church, kind of, and you can do things. I don't really want to do this one. I didn't read it all the way through. The Hound was basically a lie, cheat, steal icon whose best friend betrayed them. And the Alchemist was someone who was raised by a mage and learn magic, but I'm either want to go with the Hound or the Alchemist, because the Hound can fight, but the Alchemist can like tell sudden effects of magic. Like it can like tell if, like, I feel like we'll be in the know, but if we're the Hound, we could just fight. I want to be the Hound. I want to be the Hound. Your name is Toby. You selected she, her pronouns, and your backstory is the Hound. Is that correct? Yes. I don't know what's gonna happen right now. Oh. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death. The ever-present stench of decay and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell you the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the waste. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. Oh! Erida, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity. Clearly I'm not from there. Lived in the world and home to a famous academy called Sanobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere, I'll find the cure to my curse. It's there. I'm so excited! Okay. All that stands between me and a curse is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste. Or so I think until I see the first tendril of fog sneaking between the wagon. Beneath. I can't read. Is this fog fall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! We need to go. The cry... Oh wait, I'm the hound. The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh my... Oh? Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard. The air punched from my lungs. When I opened my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. Okay, everybody's dead. Oh! A traitor I once shredded bread with lies face down in the mud. This is a way to start. Their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Oh my god. I tried to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain, so blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Is that a dating option? Hello? A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distinctly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Oh my god, what do I do? Okay, but the city's far, right? We don't have time. Run for the city. Leave everything behind. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm heading in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emancing from the shadow of the spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the something missed for a source. But the fog ball twists and stretches around. Suddenly, the caravan I said the caravan. The caravan's drivers burst forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too. There was someone in the caravan? I didn't know that. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The Soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. I didn't know! I'm sorry! It catches the driver by his... Let's leave! He's distracted! It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with a razor sharp... We gotta go! He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intense intestines and something bad in streaming tides. Fight the urge to heave. I claw frantically through the slipping muck and handholds. Okay, we gotta go. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gorge, torn deep into my palm. Let's just go! The pain quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Oh my god. Can you stand? We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushed the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. What happened? Oh! Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. Hee hee ha 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 ha. No. I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me... Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die. This is a bad ending. Oh my god! I didn't like that noise. Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and licks my face. The edges of my vision darkens as my lungs scream for air. I mean, we are the hound, like, let's fight them off. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. Well, what do we do? The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fog fall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, no, no. Not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile. Even the blood seeps between their teeth. Ew. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the... Not now. The claws hook through their stomach. Oh! Bestie! Bestie! The soulless shoves the body aside, the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin, thin as though grinning. I hope we could date him. Can we date them? There's a flash of claws, red... Oh, did he kill us? I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice my arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down. And then to sleep face down. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Are you kidding me? Is that for real? Did I actually die? If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of the bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, Nobody howling at me in madness or terror. Nothing at all. The thought was a terrible appeal. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Who is it? Oh my god! I'm not afraid. I would never. I'm a hound. Do you know what hounds are? Do you like hounds? I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my blurry vision at the bright glow of the lamp. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out a little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? We're gonna be a little defiant. Like, we're gonna sit up a little bit. Hey. I managed to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Oh my god, hey! The strength towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Huh? Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged chest. Excuse me! I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You're safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat purse of coins. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you're not to be dissuaded. Your clothes are torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. This guy might be too smart for me. Oh, this is so pretty. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemy concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. Oh my god. Hi. How are you? I hear something.
Wait, that's my pussy.
That's my pussy!
Okay, the doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most. I have to crane my neck to look at him. Let's say thank you. Let's be a little nice. And not because he looks like that, because maybe he saved our life. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. That's true. Thank you. Oh my god, the little pose! You're welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. Bye. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in a sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of cloth. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. Oh, when my boyfriend scratched me. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury, apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in a swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains resolutely healed. My surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with black wool coat to go with them. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. Oh my god, okay. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make me feel better in the slightest. But makes no move toward me. So I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would be only a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does, it's strangely roundabout. Oof. I mean, I would have answered. I don't see a reason to hide anything from him, and it's not because I'm simping. It's it's because, like, what's the point? Like, he saw it. Just decline to answer. Well, that's a very personal question, and I don't really want to answer. Is that so? Surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what you need. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now, and learn more about him first. You're right. Who are you? You may call me Chorus? Google. Caress. Okay, that's caress. Hello everybody, this is Toby from the future, and I completely butchered this man's name. His name is Courage, and I call him Curious for the whole game. I haven't filmed part 2 yet, so it will be fixed, but for now, I apologize. I love Courage. It will never happen again, except for the amount of times that I call his name in this gameplay. Anyways, back to the video. You may call me Caress. And where exactly am I? Arida? I'm so stupid. Arida, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Arida. So I made it to the city of knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing uneasiness. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I mean, he kind of needs to talk to me like that. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? The Soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. Do you see that voice acting? But when I woke up here, I trail off bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Irida is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Okay, since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. Oh my God. I do not even know your name. Oh, would you like to know my name? Are you interested? You are new to Irida, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Oh my God. Do you understand? I understand. He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath, so I am to admit, he has a point. I am a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steady breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Toby. My name is Toby. It's a pleasure to meet you, Toby. Oh my God, it's a pleasure to meet you. Okay. There's a little more warmth in his smile. His polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving me. May. Like, why do I sound like that?
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
I chance to smile in return, even if he won't explain how he did the impossible. There's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if it wasn't for him. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. That question seems to startle Curious. I could hardly leave you to die in the waste. assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloth. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kira's might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating as a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling on to life so relentlessly, or brave such a perilous journey to Arida. I cannot help being curious about you, Toby. His voice dips into a soft murmur and he abruptly looks away from me. I mean, I'm pretty curious myself. I'm gonna flirt with everybody. I swear to God. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin. And it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure of what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me. Nobody would help a horror like me, I'm telling you that much. For free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more instant, and Kira lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Toby? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Arida in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium? The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it's very unlikely you will find it there. The gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Arida's the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure here for me. Then, if not Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Arida? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leonard? Leonard? What the hell am I even saying? Google. Leander.
It was Leander.
Excuse me? The wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. I'm a hound. There are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Kiras points towards the clinic's back door. You'll be safe as long as you do not draw any attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Okay. Goodbye. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismal, I slip out the back door. Okay. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the streets. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I'd scraped together for journey to Erida. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There are so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back to the clinic's closed door. Kiras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Erida, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kiras gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. Love you! I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alleyway and into the crowded main streets. The line outside of Kira's clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. In any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Erida was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in a paper. The smell of fried foods drifts over me. My stomach gives a frank gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layers of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you got here? The vendor points at a meatball basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long, lads. 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Hell yeah. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adored with dangling garlands of red pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. This must be Erida's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting crumbs off my hands when I spot a poster. Is it there? It features a silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring. and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. Ooh. I followed the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precisely dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. Oh, okay, we're in the party. The inside of the bar is a far cry from an abandoned exterior. It's not even midday yet, and most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. There's a lot you can tell about a city by its dives. This one seems ordinary enough, even if the uniforms are unusual. A curious glance doesn't turn up anyone with dagger-shaped earrings. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show, show, show. The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught swept along in the outstretched current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd is stilted. Chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Who is it? Seriously? You dogs again? Oh my god. Wait, I'm a hound too. Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. A well-dressed man stands on top of the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by a thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, alright? Oh, he has the dagger earring, okay. This time, when he speaks, the audience falls silent as though bewitched by magnetic presence or rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink or you'll miss it. He laughs as the dagger-shaped earring dangling on his left ear catches the light of a flashing gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light. Real magic. No ordinary stage trick blinds me. Oh my. As the brilliance ibs my gaze, refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coincides. A delicate flower stem spouts from between his pitched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies, while others whistle and call Leander's name. but his cool green eyes slides right over them, locking on me instead. It's kind of giving like me reading a book in the middle of the party. And he sees me. Oh my god. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Oh, what should we do? I mean, in all honesty, we could use some good luck. We could use some good luck, you know what I mean? I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. Oh my god, I didn't even think that we have cursed hands. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hands, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of obsolete light. I don't know. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? Okay. He grins at me as I find myself smiling back. Okay, hey, you wanna talk? Leander steps off of the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. Alright, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks, show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded center. Counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Arida? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. Oh, I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. Oh my god! He knows the way to my heart. Money! I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty. Me too. Look, I like him, but water's good. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over to me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. So, what brings you to the Wick? Kira sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I don't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. I drain the water in a single gulp. That's good, we've got water. Leander takes a deep swig of his beer and lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to Cinnabon. As soon as the word Cinnabon leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Ooh, bloodhounds twist around in their seats and gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up Cinnabon in here? Throw him out. This is bloodhound territory. The Vittoral catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule about mentioning the Cinnabon. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He tracks his hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me wearily. Sorry about them. The Cinnabom's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix enough drinks and, well, you know. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. Cool. Hee hee hee. I follow Leander to the alleyway tucked behind the wet wick, where layers of frayed bloodhounds posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, a resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Curious didn't send you here for help with the Cinnabon, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the Cinnabon for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant answer. I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Alright, I'm a Gemini. That's all I have. Kiris told you the truth. The Cinnabon is dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the Cinnabon's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. It's always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the Cinnabon. That's why I'm here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But, as I always say, there's a solution to every problem, and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands, and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kira's pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting Soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, and free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my children? Leander slowly nods. Then your problem must be fairly serious. And if the Cinnabom's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? I mean, he knows me so well. When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out. That is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the Cinnabon, but he's a mage, and a powerful one at that, if his dimensions earlier was an indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, But this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I can even finish, Leander begins taking off his gloves. He tugs his right hand free and flexes his fingers. Don't. No. Let's see it. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him. To see his face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city and you'll see thousands of curses, and thrice as many cures. Oh. Do you really think Curus would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cinnabon. Better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. Oh, what do we do? I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin to unwind the bandages from my hands. Fine. But if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up for this if it makes you feel better. That is a good thought. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. Aw, that's sweet. Okay. If he's bothered by the way my hands looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over to his palm. 3, 2, 1. I'll touch him. I'll trust him. We die. Can you imagine? I tap his palm once. That's so funny. Just a little. As quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you. There's really nothing to worry about. Oh my god, he's blushing. He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still, except for the subtle blobbing in his throat. Huh? Triple dot! Neither of us speak as I chase the counters of Leander's palms. Lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people. Oh, kiss them, even embrace them, and more, but not like this. Oh my god. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nail, and the pulse of his heart. Oh my god. For as long as I've lived, that's why it's called TOUCHSTARVED. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I've never realized what I was missing until this moment. That's so cute. That is so cute. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. What should we do? I mean... my hand glides over Leander's wrist, up his forearm. Oh my, girl, this is not what we were supposed to do. I didn't think this is what she was gonna do. Abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs down from his collar to cheekbone. Where? Oh, okay. Could it be the same wound? Oh my god, what happened? I glance at Leander's face, his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. I'm the first person you've been able to touch like this. My hand goes still on his arm. So far? I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. Oh!
You trying to smush right now?
Okay, so he's a little smooth. He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. Aw, wait, this is so cute. He points at the golden pin on his coat collar and I give him a small smile. This is so wholesome. I did not expect this. I draw my hand back and take a steady breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I mean, yeah, we kind of felt up his arm, like... I'm Toby. You were right to hide this from me, Toby. That curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. Oh, he just wants to keep us to himself. No, that's not it. That's not it. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and a board was something I hadn't even considered yet. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. Damn. That was so adorable. I'm crying. The wet wick is noticeably quieter without their leader. Most of the bloodhounds have dispersed or, in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Okay, I was like not feeling Leander like that until that scene. Now I kind of love Leander. Like, that's kind of like my husband. But Kura's, I like him too. I don't know. Okay, anyways, we don't have to choose. This is a demo, girl. We don't have to choose. Got any rooms left? Or did my lot grab them before? Okay, they took them. The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep a corner room open for you. Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. And I always appreciate it. But you're mistaken. This is just for my friend, Toby. Sure, sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. What does that mean? Let me Google.
Escapade.
Escapade! Okay. I'm stupid. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat and then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared a secret. Food, drink, and warm bed. Anything you need. Oh my god! I love him, I love him! Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Arida, let alone free meals. I planned to steal whatever I needed to get by, no matter how dangerous. Thank you. Go explore, Toby. You'll find many roads in Arida, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into my pocket of my coat for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly look. Oh, one last friendly wave before I depart. Bye. I miss him. I think that's enough for one episode. This demo is longer than I expected. I think we're gonna be able to meet everybody. So, we'll do a part 2 of the demo. I'm excited. This game looks really good. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, bye.